Good afternoon, friends. A warm welcome to all of you from Divine School of Homeopathy. We are meeting on the same platform again to learn the biochemic system of medicine of Sussler. And up till now, we have finished nearly about 6-7 remedies from the biochemic system, the 12 about of the 12 tissue remedies, and we have to go ahead. I know that there are a number of students who are new to this system. This system is not discussed clearly generally in college levels, and that's why number of people never understand the scientific aspect of the Sussler. In fact, very much thorough Hahnemannian aspect which is there with the Sussler study, and that's why I'm discussing this during this lockdown period. So in short, revision which we used to do every day regarding the theory. For the newcomers, the 12 tissue remedy or salts maintains the harmony at cellular and tissue levels. If they are in proper quantity, chemico-physiological equilibrium is maintained at the molecular level. Their molecular motion is maintained, and this maintains the harmony, maintains the health. If there is a deficiency of any salt or salts, it reflects in disturbance of molecular motion of them at the cellular or tissue level, which disturbs the equilibrium and expresses in the form of disease. If you provide the required salt in minimum quantity, that is in semi-dynamic doses, the molecular equilibrium is again maintained and health is restored. So this is what nothing but the theory, a simple theory which is explained by Schussler, and that's already we have discussed in at length during previous lectures. So for all the newcomers, I will ask them to go to the YouTube channel Dr. Prasad Rasar, the Divine School of Homeopathy, and learn the theory as well as the remedies which we have discussed up till now. Till today we have learned these 7 remedies: the Calcarea pure, the Calcarea phos, the Calcarea sulf, Ferrum phosphoricum, Kali miraticum, Kali phosphoricum, and yesterday we have discussed the Kali sulfuricum. Calcarea fluor having very specific action on the vascular level, at the bony level, at the teeth level, producing its pathologies over there. And we have learned lot of pathologies from the Calcarea fluor, right from the degenerative changes, cervical, lumbar spondylosis, plus osteoarthritis, vascular necrosis of femoral head, or in cases of vascular disorders, the hemorrhoids, varicose veins, or in cases of teeth, the caries of the teeth. Number of things which we have discussed regarding the Calcarea fluor. The Calcarea phos is the remedy which takes part in the regenerating process or formation of the tissues and cells, and it is very much important ingredient in the formation of hemoglobin molecule. Calcarea phos, Natrum miraticum plus Ferrum phos, this forms the hemoglobin molecule. Calcarea phos has very specific action at the bony level. It is for the process of regeneration. So whenever the fracture is there to form the callus, the Calcarea phos plays very vital role over there. It has a very wide action throughout the body, and that's why all the musculopathies and osteopathies are covered under the sphere of Calcarea phos. It is one of the important remedy for the growth as well as height development. So in children specifically, to grow them properly and develop the height, Calcarea phos plays the very vital role. Calcarea sulf, as we know, that it has very mild action, very short action at the bile level. It absorbs the water from the actually dead RBCs, and then those RBCs can be taken away from the lymphatics or the blood vessels. If it has been not done, if Calcarea sulf is missing, that debris remains and express its vent through the skin, producing a typical eruptions which comes out and which shows that discharge, very typical of a Calcarea sulf, a slight yellowish discharge. Then the Ferrum phosphoricum remedy for the first stage of inflammation, hyperemia, the congestion which it develops, and that's why it is very important remedy in the blood pressure also, leukemia also, and wherever there is the first stage of inflammation, right from any organ, throat to any organ, you must think of a Ferrum phos, indicates with the congestion. The second stage of inflammation is followed by the Kali miraticum, where the exudation happens in inflammation. That exudate is responsible to produce effusion over there or a discharge either from the ear, which is echorus discharge, or plastic exudate, which is characteristic of the Kali miraticum. It is a good remedy from Orist hand, as Susler says. Third remedy from another remedy from Kali family, that is Kali phosphoricum, we have learned, and Kali phosphoricum has a very wide range. It acts on mind, producing n number of problems. It can settle from the mind: depression, bashfulness, loss of confidence, indecisiveness, n number of things which are there, a melancholic state. And Kali Phos is very important remedy. It is a good brain stimulant, and that's why it is a nutritional remedy at the in the nervous system, and works beautifully in such types of cases. All neuropathies and musculopathies again comes under the Kali phosphoricum, and patient gets relaxed phase after taking the Kali phosphoricum. And last remedy we have, which we have discussed yesterday, is the Kali sulfuricum, advanced stage, third stage of inflammation, followed after calcarea sulf. The Kali sulf is very important remedy. And what we have learned regarding the Kali sulf, this inflammatory phase with a yellowish discharge, yellowish coating on the tongue, and that discharge is offensive, producing a lot of scaling and desquamation, generally at the skin level or epithelial level, showing the typical presentation of a psoriasis. And that's why Kali sulfuricum plays very vital role in psoriasis, eczematous conditions. So this is in short a brief survey over the remedies which we have discussed up till now. We'll go ahead today with one of the important remedies, again very common in our day-to-day practice, which we can use. And that's why Mag phosphoricum or Magnesia phosphorica is very important remedy in day-to-day practice. The formula and everything is there on the slide. I will not go into the details about it. Only thing, it exists in the grains of cereals and can be detected in considerable quantity also in the beer. This salt is saturated according to the rules of homeopathic pharmacy. That is not essential at present because everyone knows that. We'll go ahead with this aspect, that physiologico-chemical data. It is an earthy constituent of muscles. See, this is very important for you. It is the part and parcel of muscles, the nerves, the bone, brain, specifically in the brain, grey substance much more, spine, sperma. Sperma means it is a semen. Keep it in your mind. Sperma word is used for semen, and this is very specially rich in MACPHOS. So pathologies related with the seminal count or seminal movement, please think of the MACPHOS. We never think in that manner. This is very important remedy. Number of patients comes to us with the oligozoospermia, or number of times there is a decreased motility of the sperms. This remedy plays very vital role in over there. Teeth and blood corpuscle. See, the wide action is there with the macrophosphoricum. Where it is present in muscles, it is present in nerves, it is present in bones, the brain, the spine, the semen, the teeth, and blood corpuscle. So naturally, it will going to produce a lot of pathologies. A disturbance of its molecular motion causes cramps, pain, and paralysis. Three important features of the MACPHOS. First is cramp, second is pain, and third is paralysis. Schussler says that the action of MACPHOS is the reverse that of iron. Bifunctional disturbance of the molecules of the latter, that means of iron, the muscular fiber gets relaxed. So we have learned that while learning the ferrum phosphoricum, that ferrum phos is missing, there is a relaxation and hyperemia and congestion and blood loss. This is what happens. Here exactly the opposite thing happens. Through the functional disturbances of the magnesium molecules, they contract. So there is a spasm, the contraction, and that's why hence it is the remedy for cramps, convulsions, and other nervous phenomena. See, the pathophysiology indicates the remedy. If magnesium is missing, patient goes into the cramps, the convulsions, and even nervous phenomena. If you are doing allopathic practice, or if you have worked with allopaths, you will find that they used to give the max self injection for the purpose of preventing eclampsia. That is magnesium again. in order to prevent the cramps as well as convulsions. Materially they used to give, and it is very harmful. 10 ml injection is given in on the gluteus. The gluteus become dangerous because of that. So instead of that, you have a MACPHOS, and which very important remedy, which prevents the cramps, convulsions, and other nervous phenomena. See, this is pathophysiology. If you understand, if you provide it in the same form at the molecular level, it immediately stops all those things. Why not to think about our remedy in such a manner? So, see, there are two important things which we must think, that in semen analysis, whenever there is oligospermia, we must think of a MACPHOS. Whenever there is decreased motility, must think of a MACPHOS. This is too important for everyone. Generally, we miss these things in our practice, and that's why this is too important to note down in your diary, that these are two indications where we can think of a MACPHOS. We'll go ahead with the general action. A short remedy. Today, this is a short remedy, but even though short, we must understand each and every sentence regarding this. Diseases having their seat in nerve fiber cells and in the terminal bulbs of the nerves, in the muscles or in the muscular tissue itself, are cured by this remedy. See, very clear cut indication which he mentions over there. Where are the problems? The problems are at nerve fiber cells or in the terminal bulbs of the nerve, in the muscles or muscular tissue itself, and are cured by this remedy. And that's why this remedy is very useful in spasmodic questions, spasmodic problems of the nerves, spasmodic problems of the muscles, cramps in the muscles, cramps in the abdominal muscles. This plays a very vital role. It corresponds to the pains of all kinds, with exception of a burning pains. See, this is very important. All kinds of pains, but no burning pains. It is specially related to the cramping pains. Underline this in your book. Cramping pains. Cramp म्हणजे काय? Cramp means वात येणं. आपण मराठीत त्याला वात म्हणतो. It is a complete spasm which happens to be there. There are number of patients who comes to you and they talks in this sense. Doctor, पायात खूप वात येतो, पोटात खूप वात येतो, छातीत खूप वात येतो. These are cramps which develops. So we must think of a MACPHOS. We know the cuprum metallicum is a very important remedy in such types of disorders. Calcarea itself plays a very vital role in cramps, because loss of calcium also produces the cramps. So Calcarea phos along with MACPHOS plays very vital role in such types of pains. Pains which are darting, spasmodic in character, boring, lightning like, accompanied by constrictive feeling. See, these are very important. Spasmodic, already we have discussed, it is spasm. Boring means it is bore, as if it is a groove which is forming, someone is boring inside your body. Lightning, चमका निघाल्यासारखं. Accompanied by constrictive feeling, आवळून आल्यासारखं, constrictive feeling, as if we learned in the cactus that there is a constricting feeling in the chest, as if an iron band, that constricting, someone is constricts your hand. They are often changing in their locality. This shifting pains we have discussed yesterday with Kali sulfuricum also, we have discussed it with pulsatilla also, we have discussed it with Kali bichromicum also. So same is present over there. They are often changing in the locality and are relieved by warmth and pressure. They are better by warmth and better by pressure. Underline this modality. This is characteristic of the MACPHOS. The pains are better by warmth and pains are better by pressure. It is purely antispasmodic. Antispasmodic. That word is like antipathic, but it is antispasmodic, is similar to spasm because there is no dash in between, and hence is curative in cramps, spasms of glottis, tetanus. Tetanus means dhanurvat, epilepsy, and spasmodic retention of the urine, paralysis agitans. So this is the pathology which we must understand. Yesterday, day before yesterday, we have discussed this Kali phosphoricum, and Kali phosphoricum along with MACPHOS is a very important remedy specifically and the urinary problems. Whenever there is urinary retention because of some injury or spasm, and this can be solved with these two remedies. You give the Kali phos and MACPHOS and patient passes urine. It is the best adapted to the lean, thin, emaciated person of highly nervous organization and prefers light complexion and the right side of the body. So this is very important thing that he is explaining the constitution of a MACPHOS, and where he explained that peoples are lean thin, they are not solid. Phosphorus element always leads with this. Any phos if you take, they have this constitution. They are emaciated person of highly nervous organization. This is very common with phos elements, whether it is Kali phos, whether it is Calcarea phos, whether it is Mac phos. Every phos as well as pure phosphoricum also has the similar presentation, constitutional presentation. Most important thing over here is they are right-sided remedy. Cold in general favors its action exceedingly, whereas heat and pressure interfere with it, and hence there is aggravation by cold and amelioration by heat and pressure. Attacks are often attended with great prostration and sometimes with profuse sweat. So there is associated tremendous prostration is there, exhaustion is there, and sometimes with profuse sweat. Lot of sweating happens to be there. The MACPHOS patient is languid, tired. Languid means exhausted, tired, exhausted, unable to sit up, whether he is suffering from acute or chronic affections. So whatever may be the problem, whether it is acute, whether it is a chronic, he gets prostrated, and prostration is because of spasm over there, the pains over there, and those are of a severe spasmodic character. So pain itself leads to a prostration in case of MACPHOS. Now we will turn towards the homeopathic data as well as the relationship, which is very important. So since its introduction by Schussler, this magnificent remedy has been proved by Dr. W.P. Wesselhoff, J.A. Gann and other members of Indian Homeopathic Association, International Homeopathic Association, by which the main indications of Schussler were verified and other added, thus giving us a polycrest of a highest order. All the provings have been arranged systematically by Dr. S.C. Allen and published in Medical Advance, December 1889. The foregoing symptomatology contain all that seem to us reliable and worthy of preservation. A resume of its symptoms is also given in Hearing Guiding Symptoms, Volume 6, 7. In 1906, magnesia phosphorica was proved by 8 students of Homeopathic Department, Iowa State University, and the more striking features of the provings have been here incorporated. Administration. Yes, this is the again potency which is important. Schussler recommends 6x and adds that it acts best when given in hot water, because hot water also relieves the patient, and if you add MACPHOS in that, it works beautifully. Many practitioners have verified this valuable hint and found also that in case of failure with this preparation, the lower potencies such as first and second would cure. In Kohli, Dr. J.C. Morgan advises 30x in water and frequent doses. But in view of really surprising and apparently wholly trustworthy results obtained by the provers with high and highest potency, we would recommend this should be lower fill. So this is again my suggestion. Generally what happens, a patient comes with acute dysmenorrhea, and in acute dysmenorrhea, that is a spasm where that girl, lady, woman, she gets very much frustrated because of severe spasm, cramp over there in the abdomen, and pain is so severe character. She disturbs very much at the mental level also. So generally, whenever I used to use in such types of acute condition, I never use the 6x potency. I used to give a 10m potency, and because MACPHOS it relieves the spasm very fast when you give it in a high potency. And that's why colocynth as well as macphos, for the purpose of acute pain, if I have to use, I used to use in 10 potency because it works very fast. This is for the number of practitioners who used to use 30 or 200 only. I suggest that if the susceptibility is very high and if spasm is very severe character, the low potency never works so fast. The highest works very fast at that level. Relationship, and this is the most important part which we have to learn. Magnesia phosphorica has won its greatest laurel in the treatment of nervous affections and neuralgia especially. Yes, it is a remedy for neuralgia. Wherever the neuralgia is there, it is the first choice of remedy from biochemic system of medicine, along with Kali phosphorica. In generally all phos takes parts, but generally Kali phos and Mac phos, they are very important for the nervous affections and neuralgia. Here, in a general way, it finds another tissue remedy with which it shares the honors. That is, this is the Kali phos, which is more truly the nutritive brain remedy and clinically corresponds more to the paretic affections, while magnesium phosphoricum does more to the spasmodic affection. See, this is the difference between the two remedies. This is Sussler. He explains that Kali phos, which is more truly nutritive brain remedy and clinically corresponds to the paretic affection. So paralysis is quite common with the Kali phosphoricum. Muscle becomes weak, the strength is lost, the debility is more marked. Whereas when you think of a Mac phosphoricum, does more with the spasmodic. So there is spasm, there is a cramp, there is a constricting pain in case of MACPHOS, and where you can differentiate between two remedies. The general modality differs to Kali phos having amelioration by cold application. So this is general modality. We have learned that modality. MACPHOS better by warm application, whereas Kali phos better by cold application. Exactly opposite to each other, and that's why they complement. In studying the action of this drug, we find the most striking resemblance in the colic and other neuralgic symptoms with colocynth. Yes, colocynth and MACPHOS very close to each other with opposite modalities again. And it certainly is a suggestive and interesting fact that colocynth 3% contains the magnesium phosphoricum. So if you go with the colocynth plant, you will have 3% magnesium phosphoricum over there, and that's why there is similarity at the level of cramps, at the level of pains, the pain in the uterus or specifically the sciatica. But only is that characteristic of colocynth is it is left-sided sciatica, whereas in case of MACPHOS it is the right-sided sciatica. Colocynth feels better by pressure more, and in case of MACPHOS better by warmth more. So these are generally modalities which differentiates one remedy for another, but the character of the pain is quite common with the MACPHOS as well as colocynth. The flatulent colic reminds also of a diascoria. Yes, this is another spasmodic remedy, diascoria. So three remedies which have this spasmodic dysmenorrhea, spasmodic pain in the abdomen, colocynth, MACPHOS, diascoria. But every remedy has its own characteristic at the level of modalities. Modalities differs in all these three remedies, and we can differentiate these remedies. Another near relative is gelsemium. Yes, the provings of both, that is the gelsemium and MACPHOS, show a close correspondence in the mixture of spasmodic and paretic pains symptoms. Hence, their successful employment in hysteria. Both remedies plays very important role in hysteria. Hysteria is nothing but the feeling sickness, generally, which is expressed because of emotional attacks. Generally, hypochondriasis, it is nothing but the feeling that they are ill, they are always diseased, that thought is there in their mind, and spinal irritation. Both remedies have very close relationship at this level. There is one more feature which is very common with the gelsemium, that is the chill up and down the back is common in both. Naturally, enough come into this physiological group, Ignatia and Nux moschata. So these are two more remedies which comes closer to the McFOS, which compares especially in the flatulent symptoms of both the spasmodic of the ignatia. So these are two important remedies. One must think along with the McFOS and compare them, compare ignatia with Nux moscata and find it out what is the differentiating factor. In spasms, magnesium phosphoricum is like belladonna and follow it frequently. So both follows each other number of times. Should it fail and patient may present with dilated pupils, staring eyes and starting at the slightest noise. So these are common features of the belladonna which you can get in belladonna. You can get dilated pupils, staring eyes and starting means dachakna, the starting at the slightest noise. So slightest noise startle them, that is very typical. In strabismus, if caused by the worms, compare Natrum phosphoricum. See, very important. He is giving you very specific, particular characteristic over there. That in strabismus, McFOS is very important remedy. But along with Natrum phos, compare at the level of worms. In watery secretions and diarrhea, Natrum more. So compare McFOS with the Natrum more whenever there is a watery diarrhea. Then he says third important thing. In epilepsy, Calimeraticum, Calcarea phos and Cilicia, compare them with the McFOS so that you can differentiate these remedies in epilepsy. Then he explains affections of the right side of the body. We know the number of right-sided remedies: the belladonna, the bryonia, the chelidonium, calicarbonicum, lycopodium, podophyllum. So compare all those remedies which are having a right-sided affection. The violent pains reminds of a belladonna, stramonium. So these are very important pain remedies, belladonna, stramonium, and this plays very vital role along with the McFOS in spasms and cramps and throbbing, pulsating headache. The shifting rapidly changing of pulsatilla, Kalisulf and Lacan. So we have discussed yesterday that Kalisulf there is again a shifting pains and that shifting is related with the oxidative process which happens over there with the Kalisulfuricum. And whenever it happens in any part the pains shifts over there. Pulsatilla we know right from the learning right from start whenever we start learning the pulsatilla in the materia medica we know that changeability is the characteristic of pulsatilla and the pain shifts from per joint to joint or one place to another. Lacan there is very typical characteristic is there. It is from right to left and again left to right, so there is shifting pain from one side to another side continuously, whether it is in the throat at the level of a diphtheria or if it is backache which shifts from right sacroiliac to left sacroiliac again to the right sacroiliac, that is shifting from side to side is the characteristic of Lacaninum. The squeezing constricting sensation of a cactus, yes, already I have discussed this. Cactus मध्ये this is constricting sensation which is common in Calcarea, iodum and sulfur also. Calcarea it is spasm, it is cramp which is very characteristic with the Calcarea. Iodum and sulfur also have this constricting sensation. So see how much remedies he has compared. He has not dealt with the only with his 12 tissue remedies. He has compared with the number of homeopathic remedies, and this is the Sussler's understanding regarding the homeopathy. The menstrual and labor pains resemble viburnum. This is the remedy generally missed in curriculum and in practice, but viburnum opulus is very important remedy in spasmodic dysmenorrhea. So menstrual and labor pains resemble viburnum, also pulsatilla, but unlike this are better by heat. So viburnum and pulsatilla they never feels better by heat. Exactly opposite is present in McFOS. McFOS it feels better by application of a heat. One more remedy which is very close is Cimicifuga. Cimicifuga has much similarity here, but its pains are more steady. Those of McFOS are more spasmodic. Generally, in long muscles, whenever the pains are there, whenever it is in the neck muscles, generally in trapezium or trapezial myofasciitis, Cimicifuga plays very vital role because it is continuously over there, and in materia medica if you memorize that semiciphyga is mentioned over there in the pains of neck whenever a person who is a typewriter or piano player. This is very common with the semiciphyga. One more remedy is Rushtox at that level. McPhus, the pains are spasmodic. Again, the pains of McPhus seems to be more in the deeper structure. See, this is again one more important hint which he is giving, that McPhus pains, they are more in the deeper structure. आतमध्ये जास्त असतात. Ovaries, fundus of the ovaries. Whereas those of semiciphyga are more in ligaments. This is given by A.P. Davis. So this type of understanding is very important when you are prescribing fast, looking toward the patient's complaints and finding it out exactly the location. This plays a very vital role. Here you have to understand where exactly the site of action is. In membranous dysmenorrhea, remember borax and acetic acid and viburnum opilus along with McPhus. So this membranous dysmenorrhea happens generally whenever there is a polycystic ovarian disease. Generally, there are delayed menses and there is a lot of endothelium which is thickened and it develops, proliferates, and whenever it comes, it gets detached from the inner lining. At that time, that whole thing tries to come out in the form of a membrane, and to which we label by the membranous dysmenorrhea. Along with McPhus, borax and acetic acid, viburnum opilus, one must think. Among the plants containing McPhus may be mentioned Lobelia inflata, Symphytum, Stramonium, and Viburnum opilus, which probably explains the presence of similar symptoms. See, this is too important that among the plants containing McPhus, कुठल्या कुठल्या प्लांट मध्ये McPhus असतं? Lobelia it is there, in Symphytum it is there, in Stramonium it is there, in Viburnum opilus is there, and that's why all of them carries a similar pains. That's why all of them plays very vital role in the pains. In the nightly neuralgic pains relieved by heat, compare also arsenic. Yes, arsenic we know it is a chilly remedy, better by heat at general level. Only the heat head is hot, where patient feels better by cold. So whenever nightly neuralgic pains are there, which are relieved with McPhus, one more remedy which one must compare is arsenic album. Arsenic album, the restlessness is more characteristic as compared to the McPhus. And its action on the nervous system generally compare Gingum metallicum. Yes, the twitching, the neuralgic pains, neuralgia, the brain affections, the trembling, all those features quite common in Gingum metallicum, they are present in McPhus. So this is what McPhus is there. And in our practice, McPhus requires again and again. Generally, in case of females, McPhus plays very vital role. One case I want to share with you. I think number of students knows that case because I have discussed it number of times with my students, but it was a good experience with me. I never considered McPhus before that for the purpose of a curve. She was the young girl. She was in 10th. She came to me with chronic cough since 5 to 6 years, and she was continuously on antibiotics, antitussive, then number of times bronchodilators, sometimes steroids, sometimes antihistaminic, but she was not getting settled. And she was looking so delicate, so nice. Her skin was like a very delicate skin she was having. And she came to me sitting in front of me, and we were discussing. I asked about the parents, and then she started weeping, and whole case she was weeping because the problem was that she her father ran away when she was in first standard, and he never returned back. She was living with her mother along with grandmother and grandfather. And what happens, she used to go to school, and schools whenever during parents meet was there, it, she was either her mother used to come and no otherwise no one used to come, and she feels very disturbed because of that. And 2 years before coming to me, 2 years before, her mother also married with another man, and she was not there, and she was alone living with grandmother and grandfather, and that was her problem, and she was not accepting the situation, and she was weeping and getting disturbed, and it was reflected in her curve. So that was very typical. I was considered very typically a mag feeling, that is, the orphan feeling, which was there in her case. And the typical phosphorus appearance, like looking towards her, that skin delicate, very fair looking, and all blood vessels are visible through the skin, very smart. So I considered, let us, why not to give a synthetic prescription, and first. So when I looked into the materia medica, there is a spasmodic curve which is mentioned over there in MacPhos, because we never think about that. I have given MacPhos to her, and to my surprise, after 15 days when she returned, she was absolutely smiling. She was too happy, and she suddenly said, "Doctor, first time without any allopathic medicine, my cough is completely settled, and too I am feeling very relaxed after." So this was the case which suddenly all of a sudden it stuck to my mind, and it was a good case to be shared with the students. So when I shared it with my students, they asked me, "Sir, maintaining cause तर तसाच होता ना? You have not removed the maintaining cause. How can she get cured?" Actually, it is not called as maintaining cause. It is the thing, that is the concept of a Shankaran's disease as a delusion. She was in a delusion that she is not accepting the reality. She was away from reality. Reality was that the parents were not there, and she was not accepting that reality. That means she was in a delusion. Whenever MacPhos, a perfect simillimum was given, MacPhos removed her delusion and brought her into the reality. And when she came into the reality, she becomes healthy. This is very important to understand regarding the concept of a disease as a delusion from Shankara, and it works in this manner. So she never had again cough, and she completely come out of the situation with that remedy. So this is one case which just I recollected and I have discussed with you. Last point about this remedy, which he mentions over there, not yet up till now 7 remedies we have discussed. He has not written antidotes, but for this remedy he has mentioned there are belladonna, gelsemium, lachesis. These are the antidotes for the MacPhos. So we are learning the remedies in this manner, and we are learning it from practical point of view, clinical point of view. I think these definitely helps in your practice to utilize with confidence, and this is what I am expecting from all of you. Few things I expect. There are number of new viewers might be, because I am not able to watch you, or even not the list of the participants, because whenever I have shared my screen, nothing is there in front of me, only the screen is there. But my suggestion to all of the subscriber or those who are there, I suggest that you tell your friends to subscribe our video channel,